Hello, my name is Ashley Peak, and I'm a registered nurse. I'm currently obtaining my master's degree in nursing education, and I'm here today to speak with you, Pat Harrigan, advocating for the Providing Real-World Education and Clinical Experience by Precepting Tomorrow Nurses Act, also known as the PRECEPT Nurses Act. This bill is numbered HR 392. This proposed legislation is aimed at addressing the national nursing shortage by offering a $2,000 annual tax credit to nurses who serve as a clinical preceptor in health professional shortage areas, known as HPSAs. In order for nurses to qualify, nurses must complete 200 hours of precepting newly hired nurses or nursing students a year. This would be available until 2032 and requires certification from a clinical or an academic institution. By incentivizing preceptorship, the Act seeks to expand clinical training capacity and support the nursing workforce in shortage. 4 years ago, when I began my nursing career, I never thought I'd be here today advocating for nursing preceptors to be compensated for educating the next generation of nurses. About 8 months into my nursing career, I was one of 4 day shift nurses left on my unit. We had a mass exodus of nursing staff after we came into work one day, and overnight they had decided we were to be the COVID unit for oncology patients. Being one of 4, I quickly realized it was sink or swim. I was to be put in the charge nurse position on the days nobody else was there. I was the one to orient float pool nurses. I was the one who precepted and oriented the traveling nurses who came to help when no one else was there. And I was the one who was voluntold. Yes, voluntold, what I like to call when somebody else volunteers you to do something and you are told about it at a later date. I was voluntold that I would have a new hired nurse precept with me for 12 weeks as a nurse with only 8 months experience. I quickly came to realize that over those 12 weeks, how much I enjoyed precepting this new hire and how much of an impact I would have on her career as a newly hired graduated nurse. I am forever grateful for my experience and the way my nursing career started because I would not be where I am today without those sink or swim moments and bumps in the road. What I did not realize was that precepting was a lot of work, continuously educating, answering questions, falling behind and make sure no mistakes were made, and training, all while taking care of 5 very sick patients, which is extremely demanding. This is where I realized how important it was to take care of our nurses for taking on such an extra role in a demanding profession. Incentivizing and compensating nurses for precepting newly hired nurses or nursing students is extremely important. I strongly advocate for this bill as it ensures that nurses and nurse preceptors are fairly compensated for their time, expertise, and mentorship of future nurses. Research by Gardner and colleagues show that compensation enhances a preceptor's ability to dedicate the necessary attention and support to students, fostering effective learning environments and professional growth. By supporting this bill, we promote collaboration between nursing schools and healthcare facilities, creating a stronger pipeline for future hires and addressing the ongoing nursing shortage. With the Bureau of Labor Statistics projecting nearly 200,000 registered nurse openings annually through 2032, this bill is especially critical for HPSAs, where shortages are most severe. Ultimately, this legislation will improve nurse retention, expand educational capacity, and strengthen healthcare delivery in rural and underserved communities. On the contrary, some evidence shows that creating incentives for preceptorship in only HPSAs might create perceived inequities among nurses in non-HPSA regions, who also dedicate significant time to mentoring but receive no compensation. Trialing this in HPSAs and seeing the potential impacts and then transitioning this to all hospital areas in coming years may address these concerns. Some research also shows that paying preceptors could reduce intrinsic motivation, like pride and the desire to give back. However, fair compensation acknowledges their added workload and supports high-quality mentorship, especially in underserved areas, without undermining professional commitment. In fact, it can enhance retention and attract more nurses to preceptor roles where they are most needed. As a nurse who has spent the last 3 years precepting newly hired nurses and nursing students, I've experienced both the value of being compensated for this added responsibility and the challenges of doing it without. Compensating preceptors is not just fair, it is essential to sustaining a strong, prepared nursing workforce. I respectfully urge you to support and advocate for the Precept Nurses Act to ensure that those who train our future nurses are acknowledged and supported. In conclusion, the Precept Nurses Act, Bill HR 392, is a crucial step towards addressing the nursing shortage by supporting and compensating the nurses who take on the vital role of precepting. My own experience as a new nurse quickly thrown into the preceptor role show me both the challenges and the immense value of mentoring others. This bill not only honors the work of preceptors, but also strengthens the future of nursing by expanding clinical education capacity, particularly in HPSAs. By investing in those who invest in all others, we can foster a stronger, more sustainable nursing workforce. Thank you, Pat Harrigan, for your time, attention, and commitment to supporting nurses and the future of healthcare.